Shut up and sit down.
Hey folks, Spectre here. You join me at Kit Hill, my usual location for bike reveals. Not quite the usual weather for bike reveals, but it is November, so we do what we can. And you join me with this, which is my new bike. It's not replacing the Magna, it's going alongside the Magna, but it is a 2001 Honda Transalp 650 XL 650V, whatever it is. I forget the actual name of it, but yeah, Honda Transalp. You know, this is the bike that I've actually looked at and sort of fancied the whole time I've been riding. It's just one of those bikes that's always around. It looks cool. Obviously the 600 is the desirable one, really, but they're getting big money now, so 650 it is. You know, this bike's a little bit tatty around the edges. It's a little bit beat up. It's seen a few things. The paint is not ideal. It's missing quite a few fasteners and quite a few little bumps and scrapes and repairs, but this is a bike that's supposed to be used semi-off-road, green lanes, back lanes, scratchy back roads. It's not supposed to be pristine. This is a bike I'm supposed to be able to use through winter and just without being too precious about it. And it's to do all the stuff I can't do on the Magna, all the stuff that I don't want to take the Magna when it's salty, when it's muddy, when it's wet, when it's like this. So it being a little bit beat up actually serves that purpose really well. You've seen I got this from Checkered Flag Cafe. I went in, intended to buy a helmet, ended up buying a bike. These things happen. It's great, man. It's really, really good. Almost never happened though. We'll get onto that in a minute. I'm going to jump on the bike in a bit. We'll jump over to helmet cam and then I'll talk to you properly about why this almost didn't happen and why this sort of, I almost had to undo this after the fact. It's great so far. It's got USBs already. It's only on 20,000 miles. 2001, it's on 20,000 miles. It's been off the road for a time in that sort of gap from what I can see in the MOT history, but it's good. Like I say, it's beat up, but it's like mechanically it's sound. It's got clean MOTs for the last like 4 or 5 years. You know, it's rough around the edges, but it seems in good nick where it counts as far as I've seen so far. Yeah, like I say, I'm keeping the Magna. So the plan as it stands is over the winter I'm keeping all 3 bikes. So that's the Transalp, the Magna and the CG. And yes, I am forming a bit of a themed garage here. Didn't quite intend for that, but you know, that's kind of how this thing goes. So for now we're keeping all 3 bikes. When the current insurance on the Magna, we'll get into that in a minute, comes up for renewal, I'll probably then take the CG off the road and go down to just the Magna and the Transalp, and that'll be my 2-bike garage. So I'm excited. It's like I say, it's been a little bit stressful first few days trying to work out how this is going to happen and get it sorted, but I've made it work for now, and you know, that's the important thing. But yeah, let's jump back on the bike and then I'll tell you what's going on. Here's the bike. Well, I'll tell you more about it in future videos and stuff. Just height wise, you're talking sort of mid-ass cheek for the seat. That's on the centre stand. I'm 5'10", 30, 31, 32 inch inseam, somewhere about there. So yeah, let's jump on and get going. You can see now I'm sat on it. That's me flat foot on both sides. A little bit of bend in the knees. Obviously there's a lot of suspension bounce. I've not adjusted the shock yet, but that's kind of where we're at height wise. So it's a massive bike. It towers over the Magna, but it's actually relatively accessible, which is quite nice. Anyway, come on, you're in a Land Rover Freelander. You do not need to slow down for the speed bumps, man. Come on now. For that. Okay. Fixed so well. It stops extremely well. The brakes dunk all over the Magna. Well, the front brakes. The rear brakes are not so much. They're sort of fairly similar, but the front brakes on this are outrageous. Twin disc, and it stops like an absolute, like you just ridden into something. It's unreal. Obviously, there's a lot of fork dive. This is a very softly sprung bike. I love it, man. Nice and stable-ish. But yeah, so let's start with the, I mentioned up the hill, this almost didn't happen. Let's start with that particular elephant. So, I bought this bike, like I said, I went into Checkered Flag to buy a helmet, ended up seeing this, had it in their used section. I'd been fancying one for a while. I've mentioned it in the channel a bunch of times. I was looking at, I almost went to look at one in Saltash. I actually didn't in the end, I never did. I don't know if that sold. The advert was up for like 2 full months and then it went down. But I don't know if it sold, if he just didn't bother renewing it because he wanted clearly too much money for it. His was a 2006, and I will say it was a lot cleaner than this one. This one is not a clean bike. Right. There's no rust actually. It's not very rusty, but it's been used and it's got some dings, some bigger than others. But in general, it's pretty great. But yeah, he wanted a lot of money for it really, and this is a bit older and it's a little bit rougher, but it's also cheaper. And that's cheaper even with me buying from a business, you know. As much as like it's Checkered Flag, there's not a great deal of warranty, but I'm sure if something went tits up on it immediately, I could go. They could go to a workshop and take a look at it. Yeah, whack the visor down for you. I don't know what the airflow is like on this. I mean, the wind's kind of hitting me just like centre visor. I'll probably get a little clip on screen just to kick it up a little bit further. I like the versatility of that. Getting that improved airflow but without like ruining my eye line. But yeah, so I bought the bike. It's a bike I've been wanting for a while, and I bought it, the price was good, and I got it delivered, and all of that was fine. And then we came to insurance, and I'd not even get a thought to insurance, because I'm like, it's a Transalp. You know what I mean? Like there's a million of these bikes. They're extremely common. There's loads of parts for them. They're very cheap. This is a cheap bike. And like, they're not high risk. No one's stealing Transalps. Not these ones at least. The 600s are starting to get a little bit desirable. But no one gives a crap about the 650s yet. So I didn't even consider insurance. I didn't even put a thought. And like I said, I already had a multi-bike policy with the Magna and the CG. So I was like, yeah, it will be negligible. I'd like chuck it on the policy. It will be fine, sort of thing. Like, who cares? And then I rang up my insurer, and they told me they wanted, sit down, brace yourself for this, £750 to insure this bike standalone. Bear in mind, I have 9 years no claims bonus. £750. They wanted, I think, 430 to add this bike onto my existing multi-bike policy for the remaining, not even a year, that's for the remaining like 6 months. It was fucking unbelievable. And I was like, huh? I was like, what? Like, it completely blindsided me. I didn't even, I was like, oh, it'll be, you know, 50-60 quid to add it onto the policy for the remaining 6 months. You know, the policy right now, fully comp, is about 225, 230 that's for the Magna and the CG, and like maybe with the Transalp it'd be like 300, 330, like 100 quid for the year kind of thing. Because the Magna's like 180 for the year if you just do it by itself. So like, I didn't even consider that this would be an expensive bike to insure. It was outrageous. I jumped on comparison sites. I've got it cheaper, but I'm still paying through the nose for it, man. Like, I've still ended up, so what I've done is I've ended up insuring this bike standalone with no claims. Of course, my no claims are in use with the current policy, so I've insured it standalone with a different insurer. Go on, order you go straight, beautiful. So I'm heading over loosely towards Bodmin. I'll go sort of that way, and then I'll head back over to Minions, my sort of normal back road, and then we'll turn back again because it's a little bit grim today, but you know. But yeah, I didn't consider it. Then I ended up paying like 300 quid to get this insured by itself. And I guess what I'm planning to do at this point is, when the current multi-bike runs out, which is in the spring, I'll probably take the CG off the road, because I won't really need it once I've got the Transalp. Like, I'm doing similar roads on this. I know the CG is a lot smaller and more agile, but the CG also it needs work to get through the next MOT. Like, it needs stuff doing to it, and some of it I could do myself, but some of it I can't, and the stuff I can't is going to be quite expensive and kind of more than that bike's worth to me, sort of thing, or more than it's worth to keep on the road at least. Reminder, this road's at 60. Anyway. Yeah, it's the CG needs a little bit of work, and I don't think I'm going to be riding it enough to justify the cost to me right now. So I'm going to take the CG back off the road, which is a shame, because I've really enjoyed having the CG back, and obviously it being so much lighter than the other two, it does offer a sort of a riding experience I can't get with these. But then I was planning to take it off anyway, because I was going to replace it with a 250, so I may still do that at some point if I can afford to. So I'm going to take that off the road, and then I'll move the Magna over to join this one, and I'll try and, depending how this goes in insurance, I'll try and convert the Transalps policy into a multi-bike policy mid-term, and then hopefully that won't be too much money, because the Magna out of nowhere is the cheaper of the two, even though it's twice the value, more powerful, much rarer, and generally considerably more special. But yeah, I'll bring the Magna across, and I'll also obviously then I'll be bringing what will then be 10 years no claims with it, so I'm hoping that should sort of, the change shouldn't be too bad. But I'm still going to be paying probably double what I have been this year without the Transalp, so I'm quite upset about it really. Like, and that's why I say this almost didn't happen, is I was considering whether or not I could afford this bike, and whether or not I could justify the amount of, like, the monthly cost of having all these bikes, because my insurance costs are enormous now. Between the multi-bike policy with the Magna and the CG, the Transalp standalone policy, and my car policy, it's outrageous, man. So I'm paying a lot of money. Luckily I'm an extremely boring man, so I don't do anything else with my money. But still, I'm just like, oh, this isn't quite what I had in mind, you know? Oh, I could have gone down there actually. Might, yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's mix it up a bit. Yeah, so I was genuine, particularly when I got that first quote, and it was like anywhere from sort of 450 to 700, even for my existing policy. Like, I was very God, this bike is heavy and quite tall. Now you see the issue of the ground clearance. It's fine when you're stood on it. When you're trying to shuffle it backwards, not so much. And relax. What was I saying before I almost ate shit there? Oh yeah, I was very much considering having to call Checkered Flag back up and be like, will you please buy this bike back off me? In the end I decided, you know, I don't do a lot of money. I've just sort of sucked it up, and I'm just going to deal with it. And then if next year I can't get the Magna onto that policy for cheap, or it's going to be crazy money, then I guess I'll see where I stand. I'm not selling the Magna by any stretch, so maybe the Transalp will only be with me for the winter, who knows. We'll see how it goes really. But certainly this is what I want it for. This is, you know, I've been planning to get the Transalp for a while, and I wouldn't take the Magna down this. I'll take the CG down this, which of course, but if I could get the Magna instead, I wouldn't take the CG on that 60 that I was just on, because it's too slow and it's not safe or courteous. Stuff like this is where the Transalp kind of shines, because like I'm not off-road by any stretch. I'm clearly on a road, but it's grimy, it's bumpy, there's potholes, there's mud, the weather's crap. But I know there'll be salt out and everything soon, but I don't really care, because it's a Transalp and it's kind of supposed to be, and because, like I say, because it's a little bit beat up already. Cheers. So this is ideal for it, and it's got a much better power band for this sort of road than the Magna. Obviously the Magna's a V4, so if you want to get any sort of pace, it's got a decent pickup for what it is, but it's still a V4, whereas this is a V-twin. So the low end grunt and the kind of chuggability of this is beneficial for these sort of roads, as is the high riding position, the visibility, and so on. Until I have to pack it up, apparently. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I don't want this video to be 1,000 years long, and it's kind of probably already is because I've tagged that long bit on. So this is my new bike. There'll be future videos, hopefully, of like things I'm going to do to it, or the mods I got planned for it. Maybe a better walk around, like an actual walk around. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce the bike to the channel and say yeah, I did buy it in the end, and I have managed to keep it for the time being, and then we'll just have to see how it goes. But it's mad. Like I know I'm a younger guy compared to some, but like I'm 29, I'm 30 next year, so it's not like I'm 17 trying to ensure like a Bandit or a CBR or something that gets yobbed about a bunch. It's like I'm an almost 30-year-old bloke trying to insure a 55 horsepower bike that can handle being dropped. Like, it's not like I know the fairings are a bit dodged, but it can handle a hit, so it's not like it's just going to shatter the second you drop it. It's not like these parts are unobtainium. Mad. Really mad. Have you ever had this, guys? Have you ever had not so much just a high insurance, because we've all had high insurance, let's be real, it's ridiculous in this country, but unexpectedly high insurance where you're like, whoa, what, really? Yeah, let me know. You know, my fault for not doing a quote before I bought it, I guess. That is on me, but I didn't even consider it, man. It didn't even cross my mind that would be an issue. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. This is my new bike, the Transalp. The CG will be going away at some point. The Magna is never going away. I'm sticking with that forever. And the Transalp is hopefully not going to go away either, but we will see. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe if you are riding still at this time of year. Do be careful of how slick the roads are. It's no joke. And yeah, just watch out for yourself. Catch you in the next one. Peace.